He's the best all-around tight end in the game right now. What I don't like about him, though, is he broke my receiving record. What I really love about him is he's a WWE fan, bro.
Energetic and explosive. You get the ball in his hands, man. He can, run past guys, break tackles, and he's funny.
Does anybody enjoy playing the game of football more than George Kittle?
George Kittle was never supposed to be this. A two-star recruit with no hype, no spotlight. A fifth-round pick overlooked by almost every team. And yet, he became a 7-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time Super Bowl contender, and a player who didn't just break franchise records, but challenged NFL records. Because while others relied on talent, Kittle did something different. He learned how to outwork the system, outlast the doubt, and eventually figured out how to outsmart the entire league.
Four-man pressure, Jones for Kittle in the end zone, and it is caught! George Kittle, surrounded by Texans, snares the touchdown! George Kittle, one of the greatest players and one of the greatest guys, frankly, in the NFL.
I got one thing for you. Set the tone every snap. Every time that whistle blows, set the tone again. Now it's a throw to three.
Back in Norman, George Kittle wasn't the guy scouts were chasing. There was no buzz around his name. Just a 2-star recruit trying to find a way in.
We knew that he was athletic and that he was special and that he was passionate, but when people looked at him, he was just this skinny white kid out of Oklahoma who didn't mean anything.
When he joined the University of Iowa under Kirk Ferentz, things didn't suddenly change. In fact, they got harder. As a freshman in 2013, he was buried behind experienced tight ends like C.J. Fedorowicz, Ray Hamilton, and Jake Ducey, barely seeing the field. 5 catches for 108 yards. That was his entire season. And in 2014, it got even worse. Iowa's tight end room stayed crowded, with Henry Krieger-Cobble added into the mix. Kittle managed just 1 catch for 25 yards. That's not a breakout, that's almost disappearing. This is where most stories end, and his actually begins. Because while everyone else saw a backup, Kittle was learning how to survive, how to wait, and most importantly, how to outlast.
It's kind of one of those things, if you don't enjoy the grind and you don't take pride in it, you'll never be good at it and you're just going to kind of hate your life. So it's one of those things you just kind of accept it and say, I'm going to get better at it and I'm going to enjoy doing it.
In 2015, the opportunity finally opened up. He scored his first touchdown on a 43-yard play, showing flashes of what he could become. By the end of the season, he had 20 receptions, 290 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
It's caught, and it's a touchdown! George Kittle, the backup tight end.
Still not elite, but no longer invisible. Then came his senior year in 2016, and for the first time, he wasn't just part of the system, he was leading it. He finished with 22 receptions for 314 yards and 4 touchdowns. The numbers weren't crazy, but they were enough to get attention. When the pre-draft process began, Kittle looked like everything teams should want. 6'4", 247 pounds, running a 4.52 40, a physical mismatch. But even then, the league hesitated. He was projected as a 3rd or 4th round pick, ranked behind multiple tight ends. Once again, not the guy. And when draft night arrived, it proved it. Round 1 passed, then round 2, then round 3. Still nothing. By the time his name was finally called, it was the 5th round.
For the 146th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers pick George Kittle, tight end from Iowa.
San Francisco signed him to a 4-year, $2.69 million contract, another overlooked player entering the league with something to prove. But what happened next is where everything flipped. Training camp was crowded with veterans in competition. Garrett Selleck, Vance McDonald, Logan Paulson, Blake Bell, and Cole Hicatini. But somehow, Kittle didn't just survive it, he outsmarted it. Head coach Kyle Shanahan named him the starting tight end. Not because he was the biggest name, but because he fit exactly what the system needed. His rookie season wasn't explosive. 43 receptions, 515 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 6-10 team record. Nothing that screamed superstar. But underneath the surface, something was building. Then, 2018 happened, and the league finally saw it. In Week 14 against the Denver Broncos, Kittle exploded for 210 yards in a single game, setting a franchise record. By the end of the season, he had 88 receptions for 1,377 yards and 5 touchdowns, earning his first Pro Bowl selection.
49ers tight end George Kittle making his first Pro Bowl appearance this year. Breakout season for him, really set the record this year for most yards ever by a tight end. George, I feel like your play and your personnel perfectly suited for this Pro Bowl. How's your week been so far?
Oh, I've been having a great time. I mean, just being able to interact with all the guys down here, talk to them, just,
hear how their seasons went. And, it's really fun just to talk to those guys and get to go to Disney World too. That's not bad either.
He didn't just improve, he broke expectations. He even surpassed records set by Travis Kelce. Suddenly, the same league that ignored him was trying to understand him. In 2019, he took it even further. This was the season he set the tone. In Week 14 against the New Orleans Saints, on a crucial 4th and 2, Kittle made one of the most iconic plays of his career. He caught the ball, got face masked by Marcus Williams, dragged multiple defenders, and still gained 39 yards. That play set up the game-winning field goal as the 49ers edged out a 48-46 thriller.
Robbie Gould delivers in the clutch moments. Snap is high, the kick is up, and it is good! San Francisco goes to 11-2 and now controls their own destiny for the top seed of the NFC.
That season, the 49ers finished 13-3, secured the #1 seed in the NFC, and made a dominant run to Super Bowl 54. In the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, he recorded 4 catches for 36 yards, but the 49ers fell short, 31-20. Still, Kittle's impact was undeniable. He was named first-team All-Pro, officially establishing himself among the elite. On August 13, 2020, Kittle signed a 5-year, $75 million deal with the 49ers.
Congrats on the new deal. How meaningful is it for you to be not only the highest paid tight end, but also kind of move the ball forward for the position as a whole?
I think it's a step in the right direction. I think overall, tight ends are occasionally forgot about or, not advertised enough. The guys that are just blowing through that, it's fun to see. And, I think, tight ends will just continue. We're worth a lot to the team. And I'm just thankful that the Niners organization believed in me and gave me that opportunity.
Becoming the highest paid tight end in the league. Proof that the same player once overlooked was now at the top. But instead of building on that momentum, everything slowed down. A knee injury forced him to miss early games, and just as he was trying to regain rhythm, things got worse. On November 5, George Kittle was placed on injured reserve with a broken bone in his foot. The momentum was gone. The dominance paused. For the first time, he wasn't outsmarting defenses. He was battling himself. He finished the season with 48 receptions for 634 yards and 2 touchdowns in just 8 games, still doing enough to remind the league who he was. Even then, he was ranked 50th by his peers in the NFL top 100 players. But in 2021, he came back different, more controlled, more reliable, and once again, he started outsmarting everyone. He helped lead the San Francisco 49ers all the way to the NFC Championship game. Against the Los Angeles Rams, Kittle recorded 2 catches for 27 yards and his first career postseason touchdown. But the dream ended there.
End zone, Kittle! Touchdown, 49ers!
A 20-17 loss, and another Super Bowl opportunity slipped away. Still, his impact couldn't be ignored. He earned his 3rd Pro Bowl selection and was ranked 22nd by his fellow players. Proof that even after setbacks, he was still among the league's elite. And in 2022, nothing changed. Kittle and the 49ers once again reached the NFC Championship game, this time falling to the Philadelphia Eagles. But even in defeat, his production stood out. He finished tied for 3rd in the NFL in receiving touchdowns and earned his 4th Pro Bowl selection, matching Brent Jones's franchise record for most Pro Bowl appearances by a tight end. And then came 2023, a season full of pressure, expectations, and unfinished business. San Francisco dominated the year, securing the #1 seed just like 2019, and making another run to Super Bowl 58, where they faced the Kansas City Chiefs.
My first question to you is, it is so nice to see you again, and I'm so glad that you have another chance in your career to win a Super Bowl.
Thank you.
What is the offensive game plan to make sure that this revenge game will not have a similar outcome to what happened in Super Bowl 54?
It's a great question. I would say my offensive game plan is to give Christian McCaffrey the ball a lot because he's really good at football. Would you agree with me? And anytime he touches the ball, he'd go for 75 yards and a touchdown. So I'm going to try my best to block my best for him and get him as many touches as he can.
This time, the game leaned in their favor, until it didn't. It went to overtime. And in the 3rd minute, Kittle suffered a shoulder injury and walked off the field. Moments later, everything slipped away. A 25-22 loss, and just like 2019, another Super Bowl slipped through their hands. And yet, even that didn't define him. Because in 2024, he responded the only way he knew how. 78 receptions, 1,106 yards, 8 touchdowns. He earned his 6th Pro Bowl selection and recorded 4 games with over 100 receiving yards, the most by any tight end in the NFL. His consistency was historic. 4 1,000-yard seasons, third most in franchise history, and tied for second most ever by a tight end, behind only Travis Kelce. Still producing, still proving he wasn't just surviving in the league, he was controlling his place in it. Then came 2025, and once again, everything shifted. On April 29, Kittle signed a 4-year, $76.4 million deal with the San Francisco 49ers, becoming the highest-paid tight end in the league.
Pretty happy. Why not? Third contract, same football team, great foundation, great organization. Pinch myself right now. Happy to be here.
At the peak of his career, he had everything. But in week 1, it started to fall apart. A hamstring injury in the third quarter forced him out. What followed was weeks on injured reserve, missing time while the season moved on without him. When he finally returned in week 8 against the Houston Texans, he made an immediate impact. 4 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. A reminder that he was still him.
For Kittle in the end zone, and it's caught! George Kittle, surrounded by Texans, stares the touchdown!
The 49ers pushed into the playoffs, but the momentum didn't last. In the wild card round against the Philadelphia Eagles, Kittle exited early after an injury on a routine catch. Later, it was confirmed, a torn Achilles, and just like that, his season was over. On January 13, 2026, he was placed on injured reserve, and without him, the 49ers' run ended in the divisional round against the Seattle Seahawks, the Super Bowl 60 champions. And this is how George Kittle outsmarted the entire league.
Go Hawks. Sorry, Vanderbilt. Thanks for hosting Tight and You, but go Hawks.
How are you feeling, George?
Fabulous. We're in a great position for Saturday night to clinch a 1 seed. So just with that, I'm doing fantastic.
From a 2-star recruit to 2 Super Bowl appearances, from a 5th-round pick to 7-time Pro Bowler, from fighting for a spot in camp to becoming the heartbeat of the 49ers. George Kittle didn't just play the game, he figured it out, he outworked it, and most importantly, he outsmarted it. Because this was never about stats, it was about evolution, about a player who was never supposed to matter, turning himself into one of the most complete and intelligent weapons the NFL has ever seen. And the scary part, the story isn't over yet, because as long as he's on the field, defenses aren't just facing strength or speed, they're facing something far more dangerous, a player who thinks faster than everyone else. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and explore more of our content here on the channel.